back. Welcome back to a comparison between Dart and Python. Today we'll be comparing an calculator application. So we will be building an application for a calculator which can calculate simple math, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we will do this in both Python and Dart. So we start, like always, we will start with Python. Okay, so first for Python, what we're going to do today is we're going to create a class. We're going to click to create a class called calculator. Calculator. Okay, so this is our calculator class. And like always, when we create a class, we have to initiate our variables. So init, okay, and here we are going to put in some variables which are x, y, and or. So we want to create a calculator that will take some input from the user. We get two numbers from the user, and then we get an operation which is a addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division operation. And then our calculator will calculate the and give us the answer. So here x and y will represent the numbers we'll get from the user, and O will be the operator we get from the user. So here, instead of passing, we are going to say self.x, self.x equals x. And then we go to self.y, and this is equal to y. And then self.o is equal to all. Okay, so now that we have initialized our variables, so now we are going to create the class that is going to calculate our math. So what we are going to do here is we're going to define a function called calc, and this class here, you put self in here and here. Okay, so now what we need when you are creating a calculator, we need some uh, operations. So first, for us to be able to know which ones are our operations, we will create a list of operations over here. So in here, we'll put a string as a plus sign, and then we'll put another string as, oh, sorry, another string as a minus sign, and then we will put another string as a multiplication sign, which will be represented by the star, and then the last one will be a string representing a division sign, which will be represented by this one. And we want this list to be stored somewhere. So we will store this list in a variable called operators. So this will be a list of our operators. So this means we have this list stored, and when we want to get an operator, we just come to see from this list if we have it over here. So now that we have a list of operators, now let's go to make the method to calculate. So here we use a for loop to operate. So for up for operator in operators, which is over here. So now we are going to use our method based on the operator, because remember, we want the calculator to be able to take any math from the user. We don't want to create um, a function that just add or a function that just subtract or something like that. We want to make sure this is dynamic. It can do all the four operations. So now we say for op in operators, and then here we come down and say op is equal to uh, self self dot op. Okay, so why are we doing this? We are doing this so that we will say when we get op, we the operation will be stored in will be stored in self.o, which is up here. So when we give these variables, when we give in these variables, the O here will be representing the operation that we are going to get. So that is that, and then uh, he- here let's move on and say, so that now that we have this, now we use a if loop because we have a condition that we use each operator. So now we say if up is equal to double equal sign to operators, and then here we put a square bracket. Why? Because we want to pick up one operator from here so that we can say, if we have this operator, what do we have to do with it? So now we have, if op, which is this op here, is equals to operators, and here we are going to use index. If you watch our last video, you can remember that we talked about index. So the plus sign is on index 0, and the minus index 1, index 2, and index 3. Okay, so now that we know that, we say if the operation is at index is equal to index 0, what do we want to do? What do you want to do with it? Because it's an addition. So we want to return x, okay, say self dot x plus plus self dot y. So these are the numbers that we'll get from here, this one and this one. So now we have something that can add, but we don't want to just add, we want to subtract, but the same is going to happen with everything else. So we are going to copy this and we will paste this over here. Okay, but here is now if it's now else if like this. It's now else if because we want to continue. We want to look for this. If this is not to the right, we go to the next one. And here we will go to this one. And instead of adding here, we will subtract. And then we will copy this and we will copy and paste it over here. Okay, so and we paste again because we also need here index number 2, and index number 2 will be multiplication. Index number 3 will be division, and here we say number 3. Okay, so now we have this. So now our our method is smart enough to do addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. It's smart enough to do that, but sometimes maybe we will have a problem that some users will not put one of these four operators. So here we will say uh, else. Uh, sorry, else. What do we want to do if it's not that? We will return. We'll return a message. We will return a message, and our message will be this one: invalid, invalid op- operation, invalid operation. So if someone puts the the operation which is the operator which is not here, will get a message invalid operation. So now I am so sure that if we try to use this, it will give us the what we want. But anyway, we don't do with trust here. We want to make sure. So now what you're going to do is outside of this function out here, we are going to get this input from the user. So we will store the first one in A, and we will say A equals input, and inside the input, we want to tell the user to enter, oh, sorry, it has to be a string, to enter the first number, enter the first number. So we want to make sure the user enter the first number. Okay. And the next one, say B, we want the user to enter the operation. So here we will take this let's see, and we come here and we paste it, and then we go to C and just paste this one here. Okay, but the problem is here we are going to enter the operation just in case that the user doesn't know what are the operations. So we will tell the user that our operations are plus, minus, multiplication and division. So now we want the user to know what they are going to enter. So we tell them the operations we're going to enter here, and here we have numbers. But if you look at this, we have a number, but we are getting a string. But here we want an integer, so we can convert this into an int by saying here int, and we come here and we close it like this. Oh, sorry, like this. And here we also have to convert it to an int just the same way, like this. So if we do this, now we have the first number, and oh, here we didn't change. Here is second number. So now we have this, which is functional. Okay, so now we come here, and what we want to do is we want to have a variable x, which is equal to calculator, our class calculator, and this calculator will be taking A, uh, B, and C. Okay, and then we come here and we print, print, okay, x, which is this x up here, dot inside x we want to print calculate calculator from calculator. Okay, and now let's see if we can get the result we want. Okay, so first enter the first number. Let me put this a little bit up so that we can see well. Okay, enter the first number. I'll enter 3, and here enter the operator. I'll enter division, and next enter the second number, enter 2, and here invalid operation. Where did we go wrong? Now let's come back here and see why do we get the invalid operation. This tells us that our problem is on the operator. So here we have B, which is equals to this, and here, oh, I see. Here our B is on the middle, and here our O is at the end. So what we might do here, we just swap these two like so. Okay, let's see if we can get a correct answer if we do this. Okay, let's try again. Let's run it again. Okay, let's put it a little bit up so that we can see well. Okay, here we go. So we say 3 divided by 2 equals, and now you can see we have a correct answer, 1.5. So the problem was we switched the operation and one of the numbers. Okay, let's try the multiplication. Okay, let's run it again, and let's say 5 uh multiplied. Oh, sorry, 5. We have to enter and we multiply and then press enter by 56. Okay, let's do the smaller one by 6 equals 30. So we can know that the answer is correct. Okay, and then the next one, let's do addition. Let's say, let's run it again, and let's say 7 plus 8. Oh, sorry. We have to press enter. I'm keeping making this mistake. Plus 8 equals 15. That is correct. And now we can also do the same. We can say, we can run it again, and we can say 15, and then we minus, let's say 8, we get 7. So our calculator is working well. So as you can see, if you are doing if you are dealing with the functions or classes, the position of your variables is very important. If you put them in a different order, that might give you some problem. But anyway, our calculator is working, and that's great. Now let's move on to the next one, which is doing the same thing in that. So let's go and find out. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we'll create a function. Our function will be calculator, just like before, calculator, calculator. And in calculator, we will take 3 variables, which are x, o, and y. Okay, but now, as you can see, x in that, if you remember, first we have to tell what is our returning value here. So like last time, first I'll put void so that we'll fix the error. So I'll put void here so that we can return void, and then here we have to specify what are the data type of these variables, which is this one is a double, oh sorry, double X. And here this is a string, string O, and then Y is a double again, double, double Y. Okay, and then we can start to write our function. Okay, so now, what we want to do is we want to do something almost like what we did before, but now we will be doing that in that. So here in Python, if you remember, we used a for loop. So here, because we already have this and we are using this in a function, so we don't have to initialize like what we did there to use self dot. So now here, what we'll do is we'll just start by writing our function. So in that, the same way we did with the for loop, we can do this with the what we call a switch. A switch is like, okay, let me write it down and then I will explain what's happening. I think that will be easier than me explaining it just like that. So this is our switch. And in our switch, we will have in our switch, we'll have our letter O. So here we put letter O inside the switch because we are going to be changing the letter. Our calculator is going to calculate based on the based on the operator that we have. So switch will be switching to those operators based on the operator that we get the from the user. So here we are going to be switching what we are getting from O. So here we say switch, and then after that we say case, and then we say we put our variable here. Let's put addition, okay, and then when we do this, what we are saying here is let's switch. In case that we have an addition sign, let's return, let's return, let's return, let's return x, which is a double, plus plus y, which is another double. Okay, so that is our first case. And we can do this all the time, just like what we did with our ifs in the Python coding. So now we can come here and we can paste this, and then we can paste this, and then we can paste this, and now we have four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we are going to change this because now you can see here we already have an error because the cases are just giving us the same thing, so it won't be switching to anything. So here we put a subtraction and see that blue line is gone, and here we put the multiplication, and here see the blue line is gone, and here put division, and the blue line is gone, and we also have to change over here and change over here to put the multiplication sign, and change over here to put the division sign. Okay, so now you can think that we are done, but the problem here is, like, what if the user entered the operation that we didn't have here? So instead of doing else, here we say default, default, default. Okay, we do default, and our default will now give us the condition that will happen if we don't have the cases we have above. So we will throw an argument, throw an argument error, argument error. And the argument error will be saying, oh, yeah, throw argument error. And the argument error will be saying invalid operation, just like what we did before. And then we close it over here. Okay. Then we throw an argument error that says invalid operation. So now I can say this is working. So here, instead of returning void, we'll return a double. And you can see now it's working very well. And then we come to our main void, and then first we want to get some inputs from the user. So here what we do is first we print, and what we are going to print is what we want to get from the user. So first we print enter the first number, enter the first number, and then here we have to put semicolon, and then here we will put we'll give the keyboard to the user so that they can enter their first number. Their first number, we will store it in X, Store it in X, and then we'll say X equals, and this X will be a double. This X will be a double. So X will be equal to uh, first, first, and here we have standard input dot read line sync. Yeah, and then we will have a semicolon over here. Oh, let's see what happened here. Oh, what happened here? Okay, let's see. First, let me see over here. Okay, we say first, why is it giving us an error? Okay, let's say first, where is, oh, I know where it's coming from. So, when we are dealing with that, what happens is, mm, that uh, is more sensitive about handling our errors. So here we put our now save it. We put it over here. Now save it. We put it over here like this. Must be gone or here. Mm, Put it over here. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's now separate, but the other thing is we are getting a double here. So we have to convert this into a double. So first what we do here is we say double dot first, double dot first. Okay, and then when we do this, we will need to put our now safety in here, and the error is gone. So that is very important because you can see that if we don't put the now save it here, we will have an error. And then we go to the next one. The next one, okay, we just copy this from here and we will paste it over here. And then we will copy this and paste it here. So let's start with this one because this one is easy. We want to put Y over here, and here we will say enter the last number or the second number. Enter the second number. And here we'll put O, but O will be, no zero, O, and O will be a string. O will be a string. O will be a string. So here we have to remove all these. And here, this will come out of here like this. And we still have an error. Why? Let's see. Function path isn't defined. What about if we do this? Because we don't want to change anything. So, oh yes, because we use path when we want to convert a string to a double. So we just take it as it is. Okay, now that we can get our inputs, that's great. And now the last thing what we want to do is we want to do something like what we did when we were dealing with Python. We'll store our function somewhere. So here, let's store it in result, and result will give us, will be holding a double because when we do math, we get a number. Here we are doing a double just in case someone give a number that is not a whole number. So double will cater to all the numbers that we can get. So here we say a double, and let's call it result, double result, which is equal to, okay, so we have calculate, all right, and calculate. Now we have x, y, x, or and y. Here, for the last time we use a. Okay, let's just say here, like before, a, b, and c. Okay, and then here we'll come and say a, b, and c. Okay, and here we will put the semicolon like this. And then when we are done with this, what we want now is to print the result. So we print. So what we'll do here is we'll put it in a string. The result is, okay, let's say your answer is, your answer is, then here we'll put a dollar sign and we'll take result as a double and we'll put our semicolon like this. So in this way, we will have our functioning calculator. So now what we want to do is we want to see if the calculator is working. So what I'll do is I'll do this and I'll try to run it from here and see, enter the first number and we'll say uh, 4, and we have 4. It didn't move forward. I tried this before. If anyone knows how to solve this, you can tell me, because if you run this from here, it will just continue, and here I can enter another one and it will go and on and on and on like that. So I don't know what's the problem with that. So what I will do is I will use the terminal. I'll use the terminal. Let me bring the terminal first. Let me stop this. Okay, and now let me bring the terminal. Okay, let me come back here and bring the terminal like this. Okay, so first, let's control C, control C to close this one, and let's clear the terminal. Okay, so now first what we want to do is we want to go to where our file is. So we'll cd to desktop, that's where I store these files. And then we say dot run, and then the name of the file is called, oh, let's go to this one. The name of the file is dot. So we say dot dot. Oh, sorry again. Okay, yeah, dot run dot dot like this. And now we have entered the first number, let's say 6, and enter the first number again. Let's see, 6, and enter the second number, 9. Oh, I know the problem is when we do this here, we were supposed to say enter the operator. Enter the operator, not the first number. Here it's supposed to be operator, operator here, operator. And just like what we did, let's give the clue on what are our operators. So our operators plus, minus, multiplication, and division. And let's save this and then let's try again. Okay, enter the first number. We will enter 3, and the operator we will enter divide, and the second number will enter 2, and here is our answer. Your answer is 1.5. And let's try with the other operators. Enter the first number 5, enter the operator, let's say multiply, and the second number, let's say 5. So we will get 25, and here is 25. It's 25.0 because our answer is a double. Okay, for Python, we didn't specify that our answer is a double. So if our answer is not a double, Python will just deal with it as it is. Okay. So now let's see subtraction. Okay, we run again. Enter the first number 9, the operator minus, and the other number 6 will get 3, and here 3.0. And the last one will be enter the first number, let's say 3, enter the operator, which is plus, enter the operate the second number, which is 6, and we'll get 9.0, which means our calculator is working very well. That is great. Okay, so for today, we can stop here. If you have any questions about this, you can comment in the comment section. I was thinking that since we are doing the comparison like this, yes, some people, maybe you know or you don't know, uh, that language is a language which is mostly designed to create mobile apps, and you can also have websites from that language using Flutter. So it's more strong when you use it in the front end, and for Python, it's strong in different fields, but in this case, we can say it's also strong in back end when we use Django. If you don't know Django, you can comment down below again. So we have Django for back end and Flutter for front end. So these two, they can work together. Python in the back end, Flutter in the front end, which is full stack. So if you want to have a full stack application, if you want to learn Django as a back end and Flutter as a front end and how they can work together, you can comment, let's go full stack in the comment section. If any one person comment that, the next video or the next video after that comment, it will be video about having a basic application from Flutter that works with Django as a backend, and we see how we make them connect and work together, something like that. Okay, so when I was making this video, I also think about some people might want some things to use when they're in their programming journey. So I put some links of some things I just researched, and I think these things are good for those who are starting. I put some books for those who want to start Python or Dart for the first time. I put some links to buy some things like keyboards, computers. You can check the links in the description. If you are interested to buying those things, just follow the link. If you are not interested, it's okay. But anyway, if you like the video, please leave a like and comment below. Thank you. And today we will stop here. See you next time.